Strongmen. By what you and I would define as the limits of the possible, they are not human. Their strength, their resistance, their collar sizes, all beyond extreme. What makes them lead the lives they do? Quite simply, days like today. It's the final of the Commerce World's Strongest Man. When the world's 30 most powerful men landed in Malaysia, they had to battle not only each other, but also the intense heat to qualify for the final. We saw the rise of several titans and the fall of others. "30" has now become just 10. Among the finalists is defending champion Lithuania's Žydrūnas Savickas. If he retains the crown, it will be for a record-equaling 5th time. Hafthor Julius Bjornsson, who finished only half a point behind Z last year, now back stronger, leaner, more ambitious than ever. Eddie Hall has his eyes on the title. After 2 decades without a British champion, can he end the drought? Then there is Brian Shaw. The 2-time winner is in the form of his life. If he wins, he will equal fellow American Bill Kazmaier's 3 titles. 6 events await, 3 of them new to these finals. And these 10 men, all with a chance of becoming the Commerce World's Strongest Man. Well then, Terry Holland's 9 times a finalist at World's Strongest Man. Terry, we know who the favourites are this year, but how will the 3 fresh events coming into this final round affect the form book? Yeah,
it should change things up a little bit. Some of the guys would have been looking purely at the heats events to try and make the final. Some of the big guns would have been looking purely at these final events and ignoring the heats events. It should be a great battle. All right, let's hope so. 6 challenges then between these 10 guys and the title. For the first of them, it's over to Charlie Webster.
Thanks, James. Starting the final, it's the super yoke. And in the past, these guys have lifted fridges, engines, and even whiskey barrels. So we thought, why not people? Well, this is the heaviest it's ever been on World's Strongest Man at just under half a ton. It's that heavy, we even have to have a forklift truck lift us. So hold on tight, guys. Let's see how it's done.
And bringing us up to speed as ever, our commentators Colin Bryson first, Danny Wallace.
So, event 1, the super yoke. One of 3 events that weren't seen during the heats.
Ladies and
pretty much half a ton.
Please welcome.
That's a smattering of students. And they have 60 seconds to take it 20 metres. First up, Jerry Pritchett from the States. He's a big man.
Representing Canada, J.F. Caron.
Caron, 3rd time in the finals.
From Bulgaria,
Savatinov.
Savatinov.
He owns a corgi called Mr. Party Pants. Fearsome character.
Representing Russia, Mikhail Shivlyakov.
Everyone seems to have come as a sort of Bond villain this year. And Eddie, the Beast, Hall.
Eddie Hall.
2-time Britain's strongest man.
Under the bar!
So how do you see this unfolding, Colin?
Well, we saw before that Eddie Hall's been training really hard at his super yoke, his speed and his fitness, but we can see straight away Dimitar Savatinov in lane number 3 gets a really nice pick up and go. The former Ringling Brothers circus strongman, but he's gone down.
He's gone down, leaving the field open, really, for Eddie Hall to march forward. This is a great performance from Eddie.
Yeah, slow and steady, that's the name of the game. He might finish this in one go, Hall. There's Caron.
Look at him go, and he's across the line, 27-28, and he is delighted.
Well, if you go down once, it's such a hard pickup again, you just don't want to do it, and that was clever tactics from Hall.
Caron makes it across the line as well, making Canada proud. Savatinov really struggling. After such a great start as well, I think that's it, he's conceded.
Looks absolutely exhausted. Look at that. Eddie Hall by over 10 seconds.
That is a remarkable result for Eddie. He really, really wants to win.
Well, he's put the pressure on the next 5 men that are about to go. He had the leg power. He's trained hard at his fitness.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Great Britain, Mark Felix.
So the oldest competitor in this year's competition, 49, Mark Felix.
In lane 2, from the United States of America, Mike Burke.
Mike Burke from the States has already said this will be the last time he competes in this competition.
From Iceland, Hafthor Julius Björnsson.
The people's favourite. He's a star of Game of Thrones as well, this guy.
In lane 4, from the USA, Brian Shaw.
Brian Shaw has won this twice before. Can he do it again?
In lane 5, from Lithuania,
And the reigning champ, Saviskas. Won it 4 times before. If he wins it one more time, he will equal the record of the Pole, Podjanowski. Good lineup, Colin.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Zadrunas Saviskas closest to camera, but Brian Shaw, the giant American, is up and away first. Hafthor Björnsson in the middle, 6'9" in lane 3 there. He's neck and neck with Shaw.
And those are thick necks. Look at this man go.
Oh my goodness, Björnsson, 17 seconds.
Amazing results. Shaw manages it as well.
Both men ahead of Eddie Hall's time at 27.
And Saviskas over the line.
Yeah, 24 and a half. E2's ahead of Hall. Now Burke, can he finish?
Of course he can.
Mark Felix, the Brit, down the end there, lane number 5.
Now, as you say, Colin, once you've put that thing down, very difficult to pick it back up again.
Yeah, especially after a battle of a minute. Your legs are pumped up, exhausted. Shaw, second place, 1882. He was my favourite, really. Big Z down in 3rd.
Björnsson, though, taking it. Incredible performance. So quick out the mark.
A time of 17.09 seconds from Iceland, Hafthor Julius Björnsson.
Formidable opponent.
Well, isn't he just the mountain from Game of Thrones? Put in a big performance there. Shaw just behind, and of course Saviskas, he managed to sneak in ahead of Eddie Hall too. He ended up 4th.
Well, well, Eddie Hall in the Super Yoke top 4 alongside multiple champions Big Z and Brian Shaw. Björnsson with a blistering start, throwing down a bit of a gauntlet to his rivals. Up next, it's the deadlift, a favourite event this for both of our 2 British contenders, Mark Felix and Eddie Hall. So don't you go away as the 2015 final continues. Welcome back to Malaysia. It's the final of the 2015 Commerce World's Strongest Man. Straight over now to Colin Bryce and Danny Wallace for our second event.
Thank you very much. Here, in front of the Palace of Justice, they'll take on the deadlift. Each one like a circus barbell, just under 370 kilos. That's like lifting the entire England rugby front row. How many reps can they get in 60 seconds is the question. Well, Britain's Mark Felix was first. One of the all-time champions at deadlift, really set the bar with 3 reps there. A lot to beat. But someone managed it, because as it stands, JF Caron leads the way for Canada with 5 reps. So, it's Saviskas versus Hall. Saviskas, of course, the world's strongest man as it stands, looking to make it 5-time world's strongest man. And there he is, Britain's Eddie Hall. Looking like something out of Street Fighter 2. That's a reference for the kids there, Colin.
Well, I tell you what he is also. He's the world record holder in deadlift, Eddie. But in this heat, well, he managed to beat Zadrunas Saviskas. This is a great battle here. I can see both men doing as many as Carroll, maybe more. They both held the world record at one point. Zadrunas has had it in the past. Reps in heat, though. Who wants it the most? Hall's on 4.
Look at this. He needs one more to equal Caron. But really, he wants to send a message here to Saviskas to say, your title may be yours, but soon it'll be mine. He's equaled Caron. He's beaten Caron.
Yeah, there's number 6. Now there's 20 seconds left. Look at Zaviskus. He always pulls quite slowly, quite deliberately. There may well be more there. That looked hard. Now can Hall get one more?
10 seconds to do it. Yes, 7 reps.
That is phenomenal. 370 kilos. Zaviskus stuck on 5. Massive result for Hall.
With 7 repetitions from Great Britain, Eddie Hall.
Well, he's delighted with that. And the message has been sent.
With 5 repetitions from Lithuania, give it up for Zaviskus.
Well, Big Z, only 5 reps, same as Carol. Is it just Eddie's brilliance? Or is Big Z just losing it a touch now? Probably Hall's brilliance.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Iceland,
Here he is.
Julius Bjornsson.
The Beckham of strongman.
From the United States of America, Brian Shaw. Yes!
And the Baby Spice.
He's one big boy, Brian Shaw. He wants that title back. In fact, 2 big boys, 6'9" on the right, 6'8" on the left. Best part of 1,000 pounds in body weight between them, and it's Shaw who's quicker away here. And again, goodness, that looks easier than Eddie Hall's.
Shaw really putting the effort in here. He's got 7 to beat. I think he looks on track to do that. 40 seconds to go. Bjornsson doing extraordinarily well as well.
Yeah, Bjornsson looks like a man who's 6'9", pulling those. Shaw, it's going up so fast. Here's 7 to equal Hall.
Now, this is a bit of a surprise, isn't it, Colin?
Well, I mean, to equal Eddie Hall, no one expects Brian Shaw to have the same static power as Hall, and maybe more. There's, what, 17 seconds left here?
Bjornsson is down, Colin.
Yeah, it looks like his strap just slipped off the bar there. Hopefully he's okay. And we still have time for this. Last one from Shaw for the winner.
8 reps. Incredible work from Brian Shaw. 2-time world's strongest man, showing us why, winning the deadlift. But what about Thor?
He's just pointing his finger there. Did I get that one? I got that one.
Hafthor Bjornsson raised to his feet now. Should be an event in itself. 3rd place, deadlift with 6 reps. A great performance, but not enough to beat Shaw.
Conditions fierce and the competition fiercer in this Putrajaya heat. Big Brian Shaw back on track there, 8 reps for him, and Eddie Hall in 2nd spot with 7, ahead of Bjornsson and Big Z. So, after 2 events in the final, it's Shaw, the 2013 champion, in 1st place. Hafthor slips to 2nd, Eddie Hall moves up into the podium places and just 3 points off the top. He promised us a top 4 finish, and he's putting his muscles where his mouth is.
Well, up next is one of everyone's favourite events, the truck pull, featuring this absolute beast. Look at that, 9 axles, 34 wheels, and she weighs 28 tonnes. They have to don a harness and drag her as far as they can up the road while keeping their eyeballs in their sockets. Extraordinary stuff. Terry Hollands, nobody was better than you at doing this. What was your secret?
I mean, there's a lot of it's about the start, so it's a case of pulling with both arms, both legs at the same time, and doing that a number of times depending on how tough the pull was.
Before you actually trying to make it up the road?
Yep.
If you don't have an 18-wheeler in your back garden, how on earth do you train at this?
Well, unless you've got a good friend with a truck, basically it's just a case of getting your technique right, learning how to do it, and then just getting stronger in the gym.
Extraordinary stuff. All right then, let's go drag racing.
So the truck pull. 60 seconds to pull this 28-ton truck. It's close to 25 metres as you can. Mark Felix from Britain gave this a go. He's currently in 5th place with 15.72 metres. That alone indicates just how hard this is. 34 wheels, each of them slowing you down. Now, no one's completed the course. America's Mike Burke is currently closest with 20.09 metres. He practices on local fire trucks back home. So Zaviskus, who is in 4th place after 2 events, is first to go. What will his technique be here, Colin?
Well, I mean, you know, I think he's just got to avoid being nervous and doing anything silly here. You can hear the grunting. Just as Terry said, 2-footed shoves at the start. You've got to get both legs into it, try and get over that initial inertia, and with just so many wheels in contact with the ground, and indeed all those axles, there's a lot of friction with this truck, despite the weight.
And just listen to that breathing, Colin. He's finding his rhythm, he's finding his pace.
Yes, he is, but with every step, he'll be slowly fatiguing here. You want to get this done in 40, 45 seconds, or the body just tires completely. Think of a 400 meters. You're absolutely dead with full exhaustion after about 45 seconds.
So we're past the 40-second mark. 20.09 meters is what he has to beat. That's Mike Burke's score.
Yeah, now he's starting to wobble around, standing up a little bit. He's barely hanging on to that rope. I'm not sure he'll finish this.
Just a few seconds to go. How much further can he get this? He won't complete it. But let's see what he has managed. Savickas, 22.88 meters is the new distance to beat from the enormous Lithuanian.
Well, we've talked about Terry Hollands winning this in the final many times, but Zydrunas has often been very close to Terry, so it's an interesting benchmark for the others. Perhaps this is unfinishable.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Iceland, Hafthor Julius Bjornsson.
Well, if anyone's going to take issue with what you just said, it's this Icelandic giant.
Take the strain!
Can the mountain move 28 tons?
Pull!
Well, he's got good bulk to start this off with, that's for sure, but you know what? The first World's Strongest Man final he made, he won the truck pull. He beat Terry there, but he was about 205 kilos then. He's all slim and handsome now at 180 kilos, so does just have a little less bulk than the old days.
Took enormous strain at the beginning to get it moving, and he seems a lot more upright than we've seen before.
But it's not a good thing when that towing rope is not parallel with the ground, so really, with the towing eye being so low, you should be as low as possible. Bjornsson's going to struggle to finish this also, I think.
The truck passing 15 meters now.
Yeah, 15 seconds to go. He's not even at the 20-meter mark. I don't think he'll pass Big Z here. He's absolutely exhausted, staggering about.
5 seconds to go. How much further can he go? Well, not the best result for him.
Body's screaming for oxygen right now.
So how did he do? 20.83, so falls short of Savickas, but places second ahead of Mike Burke.
Yeah, we're talking to Mike Burke. Brian Shaw, he's also from altitude in Denver, and I think the Icelander could have done with a bit more fitness there.
Please welcome from Great Britain,
Here though,
Eddie Hall.
Eddie Hall, the British hope, placing third so far.
Take the strain!
What are we expecting from Hall here, Colin?
Well, we've seen Hafthor Bjornsson come up short. We've seen Savickas come up short. It's very hard to see how Eddie Hall's going to beat those two men in the truck pull. He's never done it before. But then again, this is the new Eddie Hall. He keeps getting better every year. We've seen that in Stones. Maybe he'll do something special here. He's very low, almost like a prop forward there.
Hall is placed third at the moment overall.
Those mighty legs driving away here, trying to get this up to the fastest speed possible. Again, there's a slight incline at the end here, which doesn't make things easier.
Very different technique from Hafthor as well. Keeping low, getting his rhythm, pulling hard.
Yeah, utilising that body weight. And he isn't pulling that hard on the ropes, but then again, perhaps his arms are fatigued now. Just 10 seconds to go.
What's he got left in him? Approaching the 20-meter mark.
He needs to go past that.
And that's that. His legs are tired.
Wow, yeah, he's totally blown away. Gave everything there.
20.25 meters.
I'll tell you what, a couple of years ago, he'd been screaming for oxygen by that point. One man who's very fit for his size. Coming up next, Brian Shaw.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome
There he
from
is.
the United States of America,
Two-time world's strongest man, Brian Shaw. Complete with gum shield. That's a 28-ton truck. If he accidentally runs himself over, at least he'll still have his smile.
Ready, pull!
big strain to start with.
Well, he's seen all the other big guns go. He's got the joy of going last. He'll have that 21-meter mark or thereabouts in his mind. That's what he's got to try and do. He's heavier than anybody else in the field. He's probably fitter. Like we said, he's been training at altitude. This is a big moment for Brian Shaw to really put his foot down and try and take some command of this final.
30 seconds now passing. Once again, this truck is 28 tons. That's the same as pulling 4 fully grown elephants.
Luckily, these have wheels, and it's rolling away. He had a good old speed as well. 15 seconds to go as he comes towards that 20-meter mark. I think we've got a winner here.
It seems almost certain now, unless something goes very wrong, that Brian Shaw will be winning this event.
Big moment, still pulling as well. Pulling harder than anyone else at the 60-second mark.
Yes, yes.
Very happy, 23.84 meters. Just shy of the line.
Well, how close was that? Less than a metre separating Shaw and Big Z, and an even smaller margin, just 74 centimetres, between Hapthor, Eddie and Mike Berg. Brian Shaw, though, with a big win, and here he is with Charlie Webster.
Brian, huge congratulations. You've won another event in the final. The truck pull, though, how hard was it? 9 axles, 34 tyres. Everybody seemed to struggle.
Yeah, it was really hard. I mean, I knew it would be watching some of the other guys go, and just had to dig deep and get the distance that I needed. I really wanted to finish, to be honest, but I didn't have much left in my arms or legs at the end.
When you finished, people were trying to give you water and oxygen, and all you were bothered about is whether you've beaten Big Z. Sure. Leading at the halfway mark now, how much does that mean? Yeah, it's all about winning. You know, pain is a temporary thing, and I can take being tired and thirsty and whatever. If I won, it's all worth it.
Well, that keeps Brian on top for now. 3 points clear of Hapthor. Zydrunas lies third, and he has some big events to come. But as it stands, there's only half a point between the legendary Lithuanian and Britain's Eddie Hall. It's been a blistering first half to our 2015 final. Hapthor took the first event, Shaw's won the next 2, but everything's still to play for at the Commerce World's Strongest Man.
Welcome back, everybody. Midway through the final then, and so far it's been anything but gentle. Event 1 saw the crowd getting on the athletes' backs, quite literally. Each strongman carrying 6 people up the 20-meter course, with Eddie Hall looking strong with the 4th fastest time, but Hapthor Bjornsson a full 10 seconds quicker, leaving a rather surprised-looking Brian Shaw in 2nd place. Advantage the Icelander. The deadlift, though, saw Thor melt in the heat, with Eddie Hall again looking strong with 7 reps, but Brian Shaw taking maximum points with 8. Then came the truck pull, which saw Eddie and Thor going flat out. No man completing the course closest to the line was this man. Yes! So, with 3 events to go, Shaw is 3 points ahead of Bjornsson, with Savickas 5.5 points behind, and in 4th place, Eddie Hall just half a point off the podium. Let's go over to Charlie for event 4.
Up next, it's the Power Stairs, making its first appearance in World's Strongest Man this year. Looking at the standings, we've got Big Z in 3rd position. He kind of has a habit of creeping in at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, Zydrunas often comes from those sort of positions. He'll be in 2nd or 3rd, and he goes on and wins the competition. He's definitely still in the race, and it's going to be a tough battle coming the end of the competition.
Well, thanks, Terry. Let's see who can climb their way into number 1 position.
So, as Charlie says, the Power Stairs, a new event. 60 seconds to carry 3 weights, each of which is about 500 pounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Lithuania, Zydrunas Savickas. Yeah!
Now, Savickas, he's trailing in 3rd, so it's do or die for him.
Representing Great Britain, Eddie Hall.
Well, Eddie Hall has everything to prove. He wants this as much as anybody. At the moment, the only person to have completed it is Mike Burke. He did that in 40.68 seconds. Now, any surprise in that, Colin, that he was the only one to complete?
Well, he's a very tall man, Mike Burke, over 6'6" tall, and of course that really helps in this event. Brian Shaw, Bjornsson, they'll be going in the last pair next. They'll have an advantage here, but that was really quick.
Zaviskas on his second already, and he's meeting Hall at the top, who's still on his first.
Extraordinary, the second quicker than the first. Each set done in 10 seconds. He's on course to beat Burke's 40.68 seconds.
Great speed here from Zaviskas. I wasn't really expecting that, and he's done it in 33.97 seconds.
Absolutely jet-propelled from Zaviskas. And the old man's still got it. Well, Eddie Hall there, he's got 5 more to go. Felix did 10 steps. 1 more would beat Felix.
10 seconds. Encouragement from the crowd. How many more can he manage? I think that's it.
Too shy of 15 for Eddie Hall. He's beaten most guys, but Zadrunas, God, he went wild.
Seconds with all 15 steps. Zadrunas Zaviskas.
Incredible time, 33.97 seconds.
For Eddie Hall.
Eddie Hall in 4th, and that might drop when you consider who's coming up next.
Well, Zadrunas, look at this, jumping up each step. He's remarkably athletic, so powerful and fit as well. Still going strong at the end, 33 seconds.
Please
it's going to be hard to beat even for these guys.
Brian Shaw!
2-time world's strongest man in the lead. So far, Brian Shaw.
Hafthor Julius
On the mountain, Bjornsson, Thor. Now this is likely to be quick, Colin.
Oh, likely to be very quick and very similar here. Goodness, Bjornsson's quicker than Shaw at the start. That's a surprise.
Wow.
There was a real chest-beating moment at the end of the truck pull from Shaw. I think he feels he's really in command of this final, but not if he continues at this pace.
Can Hafthor beat Shaw? He's straight back down for his 3rd weight.
And 33.97 to beat Zadrunas. Keep your eyes on that one.
Well, he's done it. Oh, he hasn't quite done it. 35.37 and 37.81 for Shaw. Now, let's just make sure of those. Yes, 37.81 for Brian Shaw, placing 3rd. What about Hafthor?
It was close, wasn't it? But his hands were still on.
35.37. His hands must be free from the weights. So Zaviskas wins that one.
Well, look out, finalists. A big Lithuanian is on the move. Zadrunas fractionally quicker than Hafthor and Shaw, taking maximum points. Mike Burke in 4th place, Eddie Hall slipping a little down to 6th. And with 2 events still to go, there's now just 3.5 points separating the top 3 strongmen, Shaw, Bjornsson and Zaviskas. Eddie Hall 5.5 points behind Big Z, but they'll all have their work cut out to catch Z in the next event, the log press, where Zaviskas is almost unbeatable. Let's join our commentators, Colin Bryce and Danny Wallace.
Thank you. So yes, the log press. Very simple rules. The person who can lift the heaviest log wins. Now it is the penultimate event in this, the final of the World's Strongest Man 2015, and the pressure is only increasing. If we have a look, we can see that already Savatinov is our leader. Managed 195 kilograms. You can see Mike Burke, Caron, and everyone below that have been eliminated. Just the big 4 above them have already managed 180 and must now tackle 195. Here's Hafthor, 2nd overall. He's seeking his 1st title at World's Strongest Man.
Well, this is the blue ribbon event, if you like, of strongman. The max log. Great test of all over body power. To the shoulders, he's got to get it overhead and lock it out.
He hasn't managed it. So his best lift is 180, and he is eliminated from this event.
Yeah, his best lift, 180 kilos, just shy of 400 pounds, 195. This almost matches his personal best, but in this heat, he just didn't have the power.
Welcome to the log press from the USA, Brian Shaw.
So Shaw now. He needs this, 195 kg, to tie with Savatinov. But he needs to lock it out. Straighten his arms, have it right above his head.
Well, his personal best is only just over 200 kilograms. This is a do-or-die moment for Shaw. He doesn't want to fail this or he'll be drawn on 180 kilos with a lot of men. This is worth a lot of points.
Needs to get those arms up and straightened. Losing control, can he regain it? No. Which means he's currently tied for second with Hafthor.
A bit of a desperate look in his face there. He really wants another go. He really wants to get it up, but to be fair, he got it to his shoulders, gave it 2 good hits. I think with all the will in the world, he'll never get that up today.
Well, what about this guy? The Brit. Now with Shaw and the Icelanders struggling, it'd be a great chance for Eddie Hall to get some podium space. He's the British record holder in the log. 212 kilograms is his record.
Yeah, and we're a long way off of that. It's just the sweat factor as much as anything. Oh my goodness, just his arms alone!
He's done it! Eddie Hall, magnificent, but look, oh, close to blacking out, it looks like. Needs a bit of help. A successful lift, though. And he'll take that.
Wow, seeing stars overhead there. Look at that. Just uses his triceps alone. Extraordinary power from Hall.
Please welcome from Lithuania, Žydrūnas Savickas.
So here he is again, Savickas. Currently in third. And again, he's not used to just being in third.
Well, this is a man who's taken the world record from 190 kilos over a decade ago to 228. Hey, warm-up weight.
And that was easy. Wow. That's why he's won this competition 4 times. That's why he wants to win it a 5th.
Yeah, who's the boss? That was that face as he walked off. Look at this. It sits on that massive chest without a problem. Presses it overhead like it's nothing. I've never seen that kind of weight go up so easily.
So Eddie Hall deciding not to go forward in this event. He'll take what he's done, leaving Savatinov and Savickas to go head-to-head.
Well, the next weight being called at 205 kilograms. Hopefully this will split the two. Having said that, Savatinov, he's done 211 kilograms for a Bulgarian record. Ooh, little stagger there. Every second it's on your chest, it's taking energy away.
Not quite, and he knows it. So he's leaving this event. But we'll see what Savickas can do.
Yeah, it's just Savickas to go then. Savatinov, he gave it a good go. I mean, he's done more than this before, we know that already. But in this kind of sapping heat, very difficult.
Your own time!
So Savickas. Now, if he makes this, he'll not only win the log press, but he'll also be the new leader overall in the standings going into the final event. Can he do it? 205 kilograms. Yes, he can.
Is that loaded properly? Is that really 205 kilos?
You just wonder how much further he could go.
Well, I mean, his world record is 227 kilograms, 500 pounds. First man to do that, only man to do that, of course. But I don't suppose he'll do it. He doesn't need any more weight. That's it, he's the winner in the log. And easily.
Big Z again showing the others how it's done, winning his 2nd event in a row in style. Savatinov and Eddie Hall sharing 2nd place, but meanwhile it looks like Žydrūnas isn't finished with the logs yet. He wants the world record.
This is impressive. He doesn't need to do this, Colin.
It's, you know, in some ways it's unprofessional. You know, he doesn't need to do this. We still have 1 event to go, but this is what Žydrūnas is all about. This is why people love him around the world. He appreciates the importance of this. He feels for it. Let's see it, 227.5 kilos.
Now, this is a risk, even just in terms of injury going into the final.
If he gets it, what a message to Brian Shaw. I am the alpha male.
Look at this. Oh, not quite.
Well, I'm not sure that sends a message or not. I think it does still. It's impressive.
It is. And he might not have got that record, but the real target here, of course, is that record equaling 5th title.
Yeah, and the smile says it all. He's on for it.
See, the crowd was so behind you there and you went for the world record, but why would you go for the world record when you have one event left to go?
I think I always want to do world record in log lift, and I prepare for that, but today maybe was too hot.
It's just a little bit. Well, good luck for the final one.
Thank you.
He's going to need it, for while Eddie Hall stays 4th, in with a shout of an incredible podium spot here, back-to-back wins have bounced Big Z to the top of the pile, but his lead is as slender as he isn't. Half a point over Shaw, 2.5 points over Hap Thor.
Well then, will it be Shaw, Thor or Big Z just like before? We'll be back with the Atlas Stones in just a couple of minutes more.
The 2015 Commerce World's Strongest Man, and for these incredible athletes, the long, hard road is nearing its end. Big Z leads ahead of Brian Shaw. Can Hafthor Bjornsson beat both of them for his first title? And can Eddie Hall claim a podium finish? For the final time in 2015, let's join commentators Colin Bryce and Danny Wallace.
Thanks, James. So here we are, outside the Palace of Justice again, the Atlas Stones, very much the marquee event. And this is what it's all been leading to. 60 seconds to lift those stones onto those platforms. All the hours, the weeks, the days, the months, the years of training have been about this. Here are the standings, Colin.
Yes, Zaviskas at the top, leading by half a point for the first time in this competition. But the first pair up, Eddie Hall versus Bjornsson. Now Hall, he's 4.5 points behind. He needs to beat Bjornsson by 4 places minimum to have a chance of getting on the podium.
And up against anyone else, you'd be thinking, well, who knows? But Bjornsson very much the king of the stones here.
Yes, and we know this is perhaps Eddie Hall's one event that could be a weakness. Now, Burke has done 5 stones, the first man to do that ever, because we did this in the heats and no one could do it. These stones heavier than ever before. So, Eddie Hall on the left needs the run of his life.
Let's see what he can manage. Well, he's straight up there. Bjornsson, though, matching him.
It is very hot, very humid, very slippy. This is amazing. Hall's ahead of Bjornsson.
This is a great performance from Hall. Look, he's up to number 5. Can he do it?
Enormous circumference, this stone. My goodness!
This is amazing. Britain's Eddie Hall, 5 stones. Do we have a new king of the stones?
We certainly do. Bjornsson, though, finishing that 5th one, has given himself a lifeline to stay on the podium. The beast. That was something else.
That's an incredible time as well. Eddie Hall managing it in half the time that Burke managed it. Bjornsson, just over 31 seconds.
Well, the whole world just went mad for a second there. Eddie Hall has just turned his worst event into his best, and Bjornsson, well, he got schooled.
Just incredible. Incredible stuff, but it comes down to this. This is it. Zaviskas, Big Z, versus the man who, in some ways, must be becoming his nemesis, Brian Shaw. The 5th year, it's come down to these two and the final event. Simply speaking, whoever wins this will be the strongest man in the world.
Wow, 5 stones, heavier than ever before. Before you'd given the advantage to Brian because of the height, but the fact that these are lower plinths, Zydrunas has a real chance, and he's ahead on the 2nd.
Look at this, Shaw now overtaking Zaviskas. Zaviskas slipping.
He had to pick it up twice there in the 3rd, and that could cost him the title. Brian's on to the 5th.
This is unexpected. Brian Shaw just has to get this on, and that's that. We have a new world's strongest man.
He's beaten Eddie Hall's 24.84. We do 100%. A 3rd title for Brian Shaw.
I am going to have to apologise now for calling him Baby Spice earlier. I don't want to mess with the world's strongest man.
Well, Zaviskas, 4 titles still, another 2nd place. It'll hurt right now. This man, though, back on top.
But just an incredible performance as well throughout from Zaviskas. Just absolutely brilliant.
Wow, 10 podium finishes. That's extraordinary.
And that means also that Hafthorn is in third and Britain's Eddie Hall manages fourth. But Brian Shaw, that was the stone. That was the competition. That man is now the 3 times world's strongest man.
Congratulations, Brian. You are the world's strongest man. And it was 5 stones that was coming between you and Z, and you kind of slipped up a little bit on the early events. What was going through your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely opened the door with the log, and you got to hand it to him. He's a hell of a log presser. So it came down to this. It's a lot of pressure on both of us, and I was able to get him. But, you know, I mean, you got to take your hat off to the guy. He's a phenomenal champion, and it was close, but I'm very happy to win.
3 titles for you. You put that last Atlas stone on you. You saw that Z couldn't quite get it on.
Sure.
Tell us what you were thinking.
It's a dream come true. I mean, I was excited my first year just to make it to World's Strongest Man, and I never really, you know, thought I'd be in this position winning 3 times. So, you know, it's kind of hard to put into words, to be honest, but I'm very happy.
Huge congratulations from us, and thank you, Brian.
Thank you very much.
Shaw with a phenomenal performance under pressure there, but how incredible was that from Eddie Hall? Only 0.3 of a second slower than the American to take second place in the Atlas Stones ahead of Bjornsson, Berg and Big Z. The final standings then see Shaw reigns supreme. Big Z gets second place by ½ point over Hafthor, while Eddie Hall continues his meteoric rise in the world of strongman into the top 4. Congratulations to him and to all our finalists, and especially to Brian Shaw for the 3rd time crowned the Commerce World's Strongest Man.
They all deserve several months off after those performances, but it'll be fascinating to see how Brian, Eddie, Thorsey and the rest do when they return in 12 months' time. Hopefully you'll be there as well for more World's Strongest Man on 5. For now, from Malaysia, from all of us here, it's goodbye.